And so when you get a link from other websites, that increases the amount of what people call link juice that comes to you. So if you have an article written about you in the Salt Lake Tribune, that's a link from like a DR80 site. These sites carry a certain amount of power. All right, Jeff, we're going to look at Discover Strength Draper. This is from the viewpoint of a search engine engineer, and all the tools we're using, happy to give you guys access to, or if you assign it to Jack or someone else, don't worry too much about the data and the tools. We're just going to cover how Googleable you are, because we want to drive more of these private clients, not the Vasa Fitness, 24-hour fitness sorts of folks that pay $20 a month, right?
For sure.
Okay, so as a franchisee under Discover Strength, where you don't control the main site, but you have Draper, and other franchisees may have other locations, we can see that the overall brand carries a medium amount of power. I mean, certainly when it's boutique, you're not going to be like Chick-fil-A franchise power. The overall site ranks on 789 terms, but the Draper site ranks on 6. And there's all kinds of reasons for this, but basically you don't have a lot of power on this site. So we think of each of these locations as like a microsite. So we've done this for, you know, Allstate Insurance or Starbucks or whoever. And we think of each of the locations as kind of like a website that inherits power from the mothership. But very little power. Well, the mothership doesn't even have that much power. So there's not much power to pass down to the page. And there's no one linking to it. And Google, you know, is a link-driven sort of game.
Yeah, it's all about collaboration.
And so when you get a link from other websites, that increases the amount of what people call link juice that comes to you. So if you have an article written about you in the Salt Lake Tribune, that's a link from like a DR80 site. These sites carry a certain amount of power. Like me writing an article about you is linking from like a DR62 or DR70. You know, so that's why, like in the world of SEO, all these people like obsess about, you know, how much DR the link is. But you have one link, high intensity business, how to create the best HIIT workouts. I think it should be HIIT, right? High intensity training. Wow. And so there's a link to this page on, you know, Discover Strength Draper. And that's got a 33 on the domain, but the URL doesn't carry any power. So from this URL, this blog post, it's passing 0.2, and there's other domains that link out from it. So this page that does link to /Draper has no traffic and ranks on no keywords. And so it's not a surprise that this one's going to rank for probably Discover Strength Draper or some variations of that. So this is not even something we want to rank on Discover Utah. So Google doesn't even understand the entity of Draper as a franchisee of Discover Strength. So you would think like Google's super smart, but if you don't connect your stuff together, Google's confused. And that's why you can see Google might think, okay, well, Discover UT, that could be, you know, people that are trying to discover Mount Zion. Or it could be people that, you know, discover as a gym, but they didn't put in, you know, their Discover Gym or like whatever Draper Gym. So that's good. But we're in position 54, which is the 6th page, which doesn't count. Like if you're not in the top 10, like these ones, none of these are in the top 10. Therefore, the traffic is 0. And we don't even want to rank on gyms in Utah because this is high-end personal training, the boutique stuff where people pay a lot of money, where it's an executive, where their time is very, you know, they need someone to be there for them. So if we ranked on, you know, personal training kinds of terms, the value is the proposition of these boutique gyms is going to be around, it's less than the price of having a personal trainer come to your house.
Yeah.
Right. And it's going to be around the personal trainer and like that personalized custom experience, not like, you know, Lifetime Fitness or whatever it is. But that's not showing up here because this page doesn't really have anything.
Yeah.
It's
is
like
this the
landing
only
page.
website for
so this
Draper
isn't
Utah?
even. This isn't even a website.
It's just its page.
It's a page on the main mothership. So what should happen is this should be treated like a microsite, meaning from here, there's all this other stuff about, you know, each of these instructors, or, you know, links to a bio about them, and it links to World Gym is a client of ours. World Gym is a huge franchise and O&O gym, but we create microsites so that the Draper people can come in and modify. And this is just a one-page thing. This needs to be a website with many pages.
Yeah.
You know, location service pages like our favorite places in Riverton or, you know, wherever. South Jordan, which is where we were. That's cool. And there's just so little information. There's no one linking to it. It's not even being picked up. And the thing is, if I look under services or studio about the equipment or whatever it is, that's under Discover Strength, but it's not tied to Draper. So, any of these, it's under Discover Strength /services. So yes, this is about, how Discover Strengths are all they share a common model.
Yeah.
But there needs to be something for each of these locations.
There's just not enough connection there.
Yeah. So the website is doing a terrible job. And then if we look at the GMB, there's...
And what does GMB stand for?
The Google My Business, which is now called Google Business Profile. There's, Google's going to look based on, where we are, because we're in Minnesota today.
Yep.
So it's looking at these guys where the brand is probably stronger in Minnesota than it is in Utah. But if I do a search for Discover Strength without saying the city name, it's going to use my IP address.
Yeah.
And Google also knows that this is a local search. So it's showing a mix of things where it's showing the website, it's showing the 3-pack. This is showing where we are, right? It's kind of interesting. Google knows all these things. And it's also answering these questions people also ask. So someone who's looking for Discover Strength, they also want to know who's the CEO, what's the philosophy, what's the story, And so if you don't answer these questions against any search term, I don't want to say you're getting penalized, but
how many locations does Discover Strength have? Wouldn't that be something that would direct? Oh, yeah. Wow, 40.
And this might not even be correct because look at who they're citing. They're citing the IFA. So the IFA may or may not, this may or might be correct. So it is kind of bad when the information about your own company is not from your company website. Google's having to pull from these other places. When was it founded? This better come from Discover Strength. Is not, so this should be on the website, but they're pulling it from Yahoo News. So what does that tell us?
It's telling us that we're not putting any information out.
We're not answering the questions, and Google is doing the best it can to answer the most common questions, but whatever. So let's say Draper or Utah, I'll just say Draper or SLC or whatever it is. So
yeah, if you look up SLC, Draper pops up. Yeah,
so there's a GMB. So then this web page is associated with this Google My Business. 34 reviews, 5 stars, and fair enough, lifetime or 24. These other guys are going to have hundreds and whatnot. But it's not the 34 reviews; it's the quality of those reviews. So if we look at these reviews and look at the most recent, actually they've gotten one in the last, since I mentioned it, someone got a review. But no one's engaging on it. You know how there's a response from the owner?
Yeah.
There's no response to any of these. And so basically 3 weeks, 5 months, there's very little. And these local guides carry no power. None of these guys have any kind of power. None of them have any power. Look at mine. I'm a level 9 reviewer. So the power of the reviewers, if they mention what they did, so a longer quality review, maybe a picture or two, here's a response from the owner, right? So how is Google looking? If you were Google and you wanted to show results when people are looking for, high-end personal training or, training for executives or building back muscle for people who are, 50 plus, and they want to do their first 10K or, whatever it is, Google's looking at this and there's just not enough information about Discover Strength. And it's not about social media followers or these sorts of nonsense vanity things. There's just literally not enough information.
Yeah.
And so what do we have here? Well, there's the main website, which is weak. Well, yeah, the main website, the Draper location, which should be a microsite. So it's on Discover Strength as a central brand to give Jeff a login so he can manage all the pages under /Draper.
Yeah. But
it looks like it's just a landing page, so there's no control. Sometimes the central brand will say, you know what, you guys can build your own microsite or whatever. But it's what's the point of having a franchise if you can't, have more power? And the mothership doesn't even have a lot of power. Okay, so there's an Instagram, but there's not much from that when grand opening, 10 months ago.
What do you think are the best next steps as far as how can we improve all this?
What I had mentioned to you and Noah and Jeff in the car was you've got to collect all of the things that Google's looking for. And what Google's looking for is EEAT, experience, expertise, authority, trust. And this is the article that I wrote called I Love to Eat. And you can also read Google's article on it, but I think mine is a little bit more helpful. But the main thing is you need to have stories that show here's one of our instructors and here's what it's like in their life. And here's one of the folks who they come in and his name is Steve and he's, 52 and blah, blah, blah. And here's, our location in Draper and we're located next to these other businesses. And then you've got relationships with other folks in town in Draper because we're trying to send the local signal of Draper. So maybe Steve has relationships with other restaurants or other kinds of businesses, or maybe he plays golf at this one place, or maybe he has to be building these things here that tie back to the mothership. But because nothing is linking here, Google has a fractured, it's not even a fractured, it's a missing, and Google doesn't even know who Discover Strength is. So this is not a, hey, I need to hire an expert technical SEO person. It's nothing to do with that. It's literally as simple as there's just not information. And what I was showing you before was if I'm doing stuff, let's say this is all the stuff off of my phone, right? And we were in Utah recently together. Clearly there's proof of that we're in Utah. Because here we were in Lehigh, and that's...
I bet your local SEO sucks.
There's videos, okay. And so this is tying in with boostability. And here I am at Zion National Park, Angel Landing, and there's clear proof that we've done that. There's clear proof that I've been in Utah many times. Right? This is one of my clients, been a client for like 10 years, and we do mountain biking in Park City, right? Proof. This is clear proof. And I can tell stories around how Bob and I have been friends for a long time, and we do mountain biking and shoot guns because he runs the marketing for United States Concealed Carry Association. And, you know, there's me with these other people. This is a guy who runs 97th floor. I spoke at his conference. There's this guy sold his company for $300 million. He founded Yodel, right? And we're having dinner in Salt Lake City. So this is a real story, a real experience. And I can tell a story. For example, I can say when Nate was a senior at University of Pennsylvania, he had this idea called NatPal, where he wanted to do stuff helping local businesses. And he came to me, and back then I was still an engineer at Yahoo, and blah, 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 blah. And now eventually, you know, he's grew the company, sold it, and we were having dinner in Salt Lake to be able to celebrate. And so I could have ChatGPT write an article about how young adults grow to become successful business owners, whatever, but that's not the same as having real experiences. So I've got tons and tons of, there's me and John Jonas, right? John Jonas started onlinejobs.ph, and there's a lot here. All right, video team, we're just going to record a bunch of short, and so this goes on and on and on, and this is in Highland, or it's in Lehigh, or whatever, so I can show clearly that I've done a lot of stuff in Utah. Yeah. Right. And I could have ChatGPT, generates, there's AJ Wilcox, right?
So this just like shows, you're showing the credibility you have in Utah right now. You want to attach, your name to your geolocation with EAT.
Yeah. Because Jeff is doing it for Draper. And so he's trying to attract more people in Draper, and the signal in Draper, and then all the other sorts of, within driving distance. But I'd ask you, what's the local signal that would drive him more clients? Yeah. And this is true on social media. This is true on search. Like just in general, in digital, he wants to get more of these personal fitness clients.
For sure.
Well, if he's not even showing that he serves locally in Draper, then how is any, it's not a technical problem, right?
For sure.
It's an ingredients problem.
And pretty much what the campaign, so to speak, that we would launch is, first of all, we would bring this credibility, create this credibility through content and other things. Yeah. And so then you can connect to your geolocation, as we've talked about at Boostability. Yeah. And then what we would do is we would run $1 a day and market it. Right. Do you want to explain to my dad a little bit about what $1 a day is and how that works?
So if we have the credibility, stories of the trainers, or of how Jeff decided to start, this thing, or how you guys, there's always a founder story, right? And people will connect with the founder, they'll connect with the trainers, they'll connect with other clients, because they see themselves like, oh, I'm just like that 52-year-old executive guy, who's got 3 kids, and that's how people make decisions, right? In anything, they make decisions, right? If that is there and it's organized correctly, those are the first, 1 and 2. Then 3, we can run $1 a day ads, which is boost these posts. So if I take a video of like you and me, right? Yep. And there's the YouTube right here, and then we turn it into an article, then that article, this site's DR46, is passing juice to that from this article.
So just that article that we have is like what was the DS? It was like 29, and so we're quite a bit above that. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, one article. Yeah, because this site already has a lot of trust, and I have sites with way more trust than that, like an order of magnitude better.
So what's the ebook site at?
I think it's like a 75 or 76.
Wow. And it goes up to 100?
Yeah, but 100 is there's like only Google and Facebook and whatever are
Mhm.
that high. So I'm a 75.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've got 6.9 million referring links. He's
Wow.
got one link.
Yeah.
I've got 6.
Yeah,
I'm
so-
a little more powerful, right?
Yeah, just so you know, Dennis owns this domain. It's the world's biggest free ebook site.
Yeah, I got 500,000 visitors a day coming from Google.
It's crazy.
So what we would do is take something about, I don't know anything about the program of Discover Strength, but I imagine you have a certain framework of operating and a certain way that you train and whatever. And we just turn that into a book, just like we're going to write a book for you today by speaking the book, telling stories, and then, creating a book around that. And then we put that book on the site. And I know the site is ugly, but whatever. And by putting this book on the site, it gives us a legitimate reason to be able to link back in. So we can link from here to discoverstrength.com/Draper, right? But there's no links and there's no associated trust. So maybe there's stuff with the Chamber of Commerce. Maybe there's, like Google's looking for votes of trust.
Yeah.
And same thing for Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube, and all of them are looking for some kind of signal. The signal is links, the signal is traffic. So when we run $1 a day, I recommend producing a book. Not because we're trying to be famous or be like, whoever, 75 Hard, Andy Frisella. We're just trying to create a legitimate reason to be able to share the knowledge and experience that we have. Because there's almost nothing. You saw in the search, like, what is there in Discover Strength?
There's
You
no
thought there was
credibility.
like, where is this? Like, I don't know if, like, okay, there was a ribbon cutting, whatever, almost a year ago. And there's, okay, fine, Chamber of Commerce, but it's all zeros, right? Well, if we drove some traffic to some of these things, but I bet you like, okay, it's because here you're a member. Okay, so it's one business among like all these other businesses. But let me just ask you, if you were Google, or if you're a potential client looking for, just moved into town and now you're looking to get a trainer, membership, whatever, is there any information here that tells you that's like, you know what, I need to go to these guys?
Nope.
The closest I have is this one sentence: delivers 30-minute strength workouts twice per week. Okay, help you look and feel your best in a fraction of the time. So, okay, I can get, that's like, it's basically teasing me because, okay, 30 minutes twice a week, so an hour per week. I'm a busy executive. I don't have a lot of time. I'm not trying to win Mr. Olympia. I'm not trying to be Mr. Muscles. I'm just trying to be fitter and healthier and, like that doesn't speak to that because I don't have stories. I don't know about the model. Like, why is Discover Strength any better than any of the other hit guys? Or there's nothing about it. And why would anyone call this? Okay, yeah, fine. There's the address and all this stuff. This should link to their Google My Business. So even this is a weak vote. It's a vote. Yeah. But it's a weak vote. Yeah. Right.
And also, one thing we should be able to do is, and something you've done in the past, is we can advertise with $1 a day to a specific location. So there's obviously in the Valley, there's a lot of different residential areas with different levels of wealth.
Right.
For most of these people, and there's like what do they call it's like the second Silicon Valley of Utah is like the second Silicon Valley.
Silicon Alley or whatever they call it.
Yeah. So those are
Silicon Slopes.
Yeah. Those are where the busy business executives work. Let's find out where they live, and then let's run $1 a day marketing.
So if I show like so-and-so is an executive, they work at this tech company in Lehigh, and this is how busy their schedule is, but they're able to manage 30 minutes twice a week. And then here's where they were before, and now look at how they are after. You can see the before and after. Yeah. We can see, hear about their story. Now I'm, this transformation has happened. I'm so happy to see Steve, because he understands, because he's, whatever. Like, those stories are not there. And they're beyond testimonials, right?
And it's so easy. Like, the reason that Dad and Allie and Bill and Lisa, the reason you guys started at ES is because you believe in it and love it so much for yourselves. And so if you can share your testimony,
they're not there. It's literally, so that's why I thought this was a perfect thing for Noah. Because Noah's part of the family. Noah's there. He's just got to, collect 1-minute videos. We have a whole set of training on how do you go about and film 1-minute videos the right way. And then it gets repurposed in a certain way. So we call this the Content Factory. And there's 4 primary stages here. So, talk about how this thing's actually, there's a 300-page guide. So only people who are implementing need to really understand this. But you see these first 4. The thing that's missing are these ingredients. Like, okay, if you're Discover Strength, what do I need to know about like here? I could literally come in and ask. I think I showed you this with ChatGPT. Actually, I'm going to just start a new chat so I can use the advanced voice. Advanced voice shows this little cloud. When this thing shows up, a little cloud thing. So my friend Jeff owns the Draper location for Discover Strength. And we're talking about the stages of the content factory and how the first stage is we've got to produce this content showing the trainers, showing their story about how they started it, showing, how 2 30-minute strength sessions per week helps busy executives get control of their life and health and all this. But there's almost nothing there Googleable. They have very little information. They have a landing page basically on the main Discover Strength franchise site, but we want to empower Noah to collect all these videos that we can then repurpose into blog posts, into their GMB, into YouTube, and then be able to run dollar a day against it to help them get more clients.
Community, it can help rank for local searches. This is crucial for attracting nearby clients. Content diversification. An ebook allows for a deep dive into topics, creating comprehensive content that can be broken down into smaller pieces. Blog posts, social media posts, infographics, all linking back to the main ebook. Brand visibility. Sharing the ebook on social media and other
All right, these are all good. Now, can you put together a plan for Noah, Jeff's son, to implement all of this? Maybe with some guidance from Jack Wendt, also Jeff's son, and then with me kind of coaching overall. But that way, we want Jeff and family to understand what Noah is doing with the oversight of Jack and myself.
Let's outline a plan for Noah with guidance from Jack and oversight from you. Content collection, Noah's role. Start by gathering stories from trainers and clients, focusing on transformative experiences. Record videos of training sessions, client testimonials, and educational snippets on strength training benefits. Collect B-roll footage around the Draper location, emphasizing the environment and facilities. Content structuring. With Jack's guidance, use the topic wheel to organize content around key themes: efficiency, work-life balance, health benefits, and personal stories. Craft a content calendar, scheduling regular releases of various content types. Plan how each piece can be repurposed across different platforms. Content creation and editing. Noah can film and edit the content, with Jack providing tips on engaging storytelling and ensuring the message aligns with Discover Strength's values. Use tools like Descript for efficient editing and transcription to create different content formats. Content distribution. With your oversight, publish long-form content on the Discover Strength website and blog. Share shorter videos and snippets on social media platforms.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Continue.
No worries. So, after sharing on social media, we move to ebook creation. Compile the content into an ebook format, focusing on valuable insights and local success stories. Include calls to action throughout the ebook, guiding readers to contact or visit the Draper location. SEO and distribution. Publish the ebook on your freeebooks.net site with backlinks to the Discover Strength location. Promote the ebook through social media, email newsletters, and partnerships. $1 a day strategy. Use the $1 a day strategy to promote key pieces of content, driving traffic to the ebook and the Discover Strength site. Tracking and optimization. Monitor performance through analytics, adjusting your strategy based on what content drives the most engagement and leads. This plan empowers Noah to take charge of content creation, with Jack providing valuable insights and you overseeing the process. How does that sound?
I think it sounds great. Hey, what do you know about Jack Wendt? And his last name is spelled W-E-N-D-T.
Jack Wendt is Jeff's son and is involved in implementing the Content Factory stages for the Discover Strength location in Draper. He provides guidance to his brother Noah, who is responsible for collecting content.
Still
While
won't close
Jack
that fast though.
Okay, what else do you know about him besides this project?
That's all I know about Jack Wendt at the moment. If there's more you'd like to share about him, I can remember it for future conversations.
All right, no, that's pretty good for right now. Thank you.
I feel like that's pretty good. I feel like that.
Yeah. And then, of course, they can ask ChatGPT to help. It's almost like they didn't need us because the AI can tell them what to do. But
Yeah.
All right, there you go. Holler for any questions.